Hello and welcome to the course 30 Steps to Live a Purpose-Driven Life. My name is Michael Earth Osada and I will be leading you through this process as you are able to create the self-healing process, the emotional reflection method, and walk on your freedom journey. So these three tiers to what it is that I'm doing here are actually different stages that you will be going through in order to be able to become who you actually are. So the self-healing process is all about being able to get a healthy conversation going with yourself so that you can value your opinion enough to be able to then connect with other people without hurting them. In how you communicate to connect with other people, you will then learn in the emotional reflection method how to be able to take those morals and those senses that you gather from other people's perspectives. Those values are then incorporated into your identity. So when you start to be able to understand who you are and get that sense of self by building from other people's integrity and applying it to your own, you then in turn get on to the freedom journey. And the freedom journey is all about figuring out who you actually are, why you're here on this earth, and what you're here to do. And when you follow your freedom journey, it actually gives you the abilities to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, the things that you're motivated by, and how you can be able to drive yourself to being able to get the result of who you actually are. And this would be self-awareness. Self-awareness is the most important thing that I can ever give you. So I wanted to make this introduction video to be able to help you understand the layout for how we're going to be able to go through this whole process as an introductory. So to start, what you are really going to be focused on doing is going through these videos and really trying to tap into and harness each truth that you are to learn from each video. Now, it's going to be a lot of information, so what's going to be important for you to do is to actually go through this video and focus on what it is that you're learning. But in order to actually learn it, you have to do it. And what I mean by doing is being able to take the information that you gather and then harness it, but not only harness it and use it to drive you forward, but apply it to your integrity. So what that means is you're going to have to be it, you're going to have to live it, and you're going to have to feel it. And what that really comes down to is experiences. Because you are the way you are because of the way you think, and your life is the culmination of the experiences you've created. So if you can see your life in this paradigm where you're trying to be able to break new barriers and become the person that you actually are, you're going to have to be able to build momentum. Because momentum is the great problem solver, and it's a great problem stopper if you're at a start and stop finish level of execution. So you have to have some sort of level of commitment that requires daily disciplined and, committed action that you're going to be responsible for so that you can continue to grow. And there's actually a process that outlines all of that you will be doing. But the most important thing that you need to understand before we get to that step, which is called doing an awareness documentation, in which case an ad talk, hashtag ad talk, an ad talk a day keeps the doctor away and shows you what you can create. By doing that, you're going to unfold into your truth by becoming your own greatest mentor. And when you teach yourself by learning what's internal and then voicing it in the external, by listening to the earth and its words coming up to speak to you, the human, you then in turn become the greatest version of yourself. So what I want you to pay attention to, really pay attention to, is the truth that I am trying to reveal to you through the videos that I am expressing. And how you can be able to connect to that is by connecting to my identity. You cannot go through this course and disassociate yourself from me by separating and seeing me as a separate entity that you cannot learn from. My experiences are being voiced so that we can unite souls before you are able to fully participate in your own role. In order for me to be able to show you your role, you have to unite your soul with mine, which means you have to become attached to my story and bring your story into the picture as well, so that we can have a joint participation in the good of life, also known as a relationship, in which case our experiences become a collective of information that helps us gather perspective, in which case life is one big game of gain perspective. By taking that perspective and harnessing all the resources that you gather from it, applying it to your own, and then taking actions based upon that, you're going to be able to learn and power through with your commitment. But first, you have to understand that my perspective may not necessarily be one that is best for you. It works for me. So what you're going to have to do is take these truths that you're learning in each video, in which case when you learn the actual truth that defines the gate that you are trying to open, there's going to be a system called literally step 1, gate 1, key 1. You have to understand the truth which solves the puzzle so that you can claim the key that defines what that key means. That key of truth, that you open the gateway of truth in order to be able to unlock that and take your next step forward. But the term step doesn't actually come around until you actually clear the floor, meaning you have to understand and gather enough keys, because you become the key holder on your keychain that has key number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to the number of gates that are on the current floor. And when you gather the true key by realizing the truth beyond each different piece of what it is that you are going through, by moving into the next room, which would be the next video course that you will be entering, you then collect the keys and open the gates with what would be clearing the floor once you've opened all the gates on that current step. So this is actually a really fun game that we're going to put together, and we're going to challenge each other by having other people inside the group, which you'll be receiving support with, who have the permissions to be able to teach the people underneath them. And only those who have collected more keys by establishing and understanding the definition of that truth and incorporating it into their integrity, who have moved forward in this way, can be able to teach the people below them. So literally, you're going to have a growth mindset with the ability to improve into being somebody who's actually worth knowing, because that's what all of this is about. It's about building the character to be somebody who's actually worth knowing. In turn, you get your real personality. In turn, you get to be able to truly express yourself so you can be understood and live in harmony with everyone else, because you found out what your talents, your gifts, your abilities are, and you're no longer disassociating yourself from somebody else and being able to progress with them, because you're actually united as souls. And you understand what staying true to the vision of unity while exercising your own unique individual identity means. Because we're here as a collective. So that's why I say we aren't ready until we start a lifelong party. Because we have to be in this together from the start and see humanity as one, as a whole. Because you're really whole and complete, lacking in nothing. When you filled yourself up with your soul, then you can manage fully participating in your own role. And that's what we're doing here. We're giving you self-awareness so that you can be able to have a whole and complete life of bliss within emotional freedom. And that takes building your character to develop integrity. So when you understand each truth that gets you to be able to move forward to the next gate, just understand you don't have to start and finish yourself and understand with integrity each and every video. But the more that you progress and you don't truly learn what it is that you're supposed to learn by entering each gate, the more false keys you're going to collect, the more that information that is unlearned is going to come to bite you. And that experience is going to cause you pain that learning those truths is supposed to mediate. So if you do not really know what those truths are, and you move forward gathering information, trying new challenges and experiences that you may or may not be ready for, well, you may or may not experience challenges that are going to hurt you a little bit more than what would or could not be if you were to actually understand the truth and move forward and make your decisions based on that. That's why I say this whole thing is really important, because you have to incorporate it into your integrity in order to be who you actually are. And this is a lifelong process, a lifelong journey. This is not something that you learn instantaneously. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to change the way you think in order to become someone who changes the experiences they create, to become a culmination of oneness that stays true to the vision of unity while also exercising your own unique individual identity. This is one of the most exciting things that you will ever take part in. So what I want you to do is literally start with the first video, go through the video content, read the description. At the end of each description, you are going to receive an assignment. Now, this assignment does not have to be something that you specifically have to do, but it is examples of what I have done, or examples of what things may work to be able to test and try and experiment. Because there are 5 different cycles to what it is that you are doing in your life right now that are continuous. Life is not a straight line. Okay, so what you are going to want to do is keep being in a cycle of learning, a cycle of testing and experimenting, a cycle of performing, and getting into a place where you're going to consistently be trying to get to thriving. But before thriving comes struggling. And all 5 of these cycles, in which case it would actually be, being able to be in learning, experimenting and testing, performing, and then struggling and thriving. These 5 are all continuous. You're gonna want to have to maximize your output by following through with the assignments that I give you. Realistically speaking, there's only one assignment that you're supposed to do on a daily basis, and then you can add on more to build up your perspective and grow at a faster rate, because here we're literally trying to document our process that is in development so that we can achieve progress. And by doing that, you are going to be more accountable, you're going to be more responsible, and you're going to be more in check with who it is that you are actually speaking to or as, by paying attention to who you actually are and things that denote or are going and coming against what you were actually trying to truly express. And by catching that, some things are taught, right? Other things are caught. You really need to catch and grasp that in order to be able to turn it into your reality. So this is it. You're just taking the information, trying out the little assignments that are going to be in the description, or coming up with your own creativity, something new that you can do through doing the awareness documentations. And by following through with this process in full, whole, and complete execution, following through with your own commitment, whatever that may be, you're going to start to get results that help you feel better as a human being. And life is just going to get so great the more you become awake to your truth. Because if you can think of it this way, we're all playing the same game, and we're all participating here on this earth in a game to figure out why you are actually here in the first place. And all those people out there who are running around in circles, running around in the rat race, and are not participating where they're supposed to be, off the track, and serving the real world with their benefits that are going to help others, you are actually losing the game. So when you fully understand your role, why your soul was planted here, why you are actually here to be able to participate in this community, it's going to be by staying true to the vision of unity. And you're going to have to use your best senses, your best talents, your best gifts, your best abilities to be able to work together with everyone. Because together, we stand united in our unfolding. So here's my quote for you. Okay. It's not about roles anymore. It's about souls. You make a difference whether you want to or not, because together we stand united in our unfolding. I unite souls before I show them their role, because we have one life audition and the world is our stage, we must not forget to include the audience, for we aren't ready until we've started a lifelong party. Here's where you have to join your perspective with mine, learn from my story, apply the truths of it, think, what would Michael do in this situation? And use your own creativity to come up with a new solution each and every time. Now, this is only the introductory video. So, if we haven't gotten started yet, I hope I can excite you, because it's only going to be as easy as you make it for yourself by following through with your own commitments. Because a leader learns to follow through with their own commitments. So I will see you on the other side. All right. Thank you for your time and attention. As always, I love you. Take care of the world, okay? Starts with taking care of yourself.